Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'm doing my top 5 favourite Mega Evolved Pokemon from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now, with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which I'll henceforth be calling it ORAS, because it's going to be easy for me when talking about these games, and mainly because it's going to be it's just going to be a lot faster. They brought in not only the original Mega Evolved Pokemon from X and Y, but also brought in then some new ones to add in, because even though the ones you could find and collect in X and Y were fun, and a lot of them are quite cool to use, I think there weren't really too many, and the only ones you could get were story-based ones, and one you could find in one of the towns, and then the rest were blocked off until the end of the game. Whereas the ones in ORAS, you could find them scattered throughout the world during any time of the story. And with the new ones, a lot of the new ones are really cool looking, and a lot of them just make the Pokemon look really cool, whether the design, their types, or something like that, similar to how the ones in X and Y are. So yeah. So for number 5 is Mega Salamence. Now with this one, I think it's a really cool design, because it's his wings basically become like a giant moon, and his front legs go into this sort of pocket, sort of brace thing, and it kind of reminds me of Salamance's paradox form in Scarlet and Violet. I think it's called Roaring Moon or something like that. And yeah, I think in my head that's what it is basically what Salamence is trying to represent or recreate, or when he mega evolves, because that's what Salamence looked like in the past, and Mega Salamence is just recreating or becoming what its ancestors looked like when Salamence was in the past. And yeah, this is a really, really cool form for Salamence, and I think it's really, really strong. The only downside is that you can only get Mega Salamence during the Delta episode, so it is quite annoying, but it's a really strong design. For number 4 is Mega Gallade. Now, this one is really cool because it's kind of similar to Gardevoir's Mega form, in that Mega Gallade has the flowing like cape thing on its back, but his like arms. His arms get these sort of like curved spike things, which is really cool. And yeah, again, similar to Gardevoir, Mega Gallade has this sort of like elegance to it, because it's a fighting psychic type, which I think really does help its form, because it can, glides across the room, but while also just punching you and using its psychic powers, which I think is really cool. And overall, Mega Gallade is just a really, really cool looking Pokemon. So yeah. For number 3 is Mega Rayquaza. Now with this one, it's a really cool design. I think it's a lot better than regular Rayquaza, and regular Rayquaza is a really strong design. It's a dragon flying type. It's this big green snake dragon Pokemon, and when it becomes Mega Salamence, it just gains like these 2 like fang horn things on the front of his face, and it gains like these like flowing, I don't know what they are. I think they're ribbons or something like that, or like metaphorical fire or something like that. When you look at all like the green, not the green, the orange energy that's coming out of it, and it's really cool. And also, Mega Rayquaza is the only Pokemon in ORAS, as well as any of the other games like X and Y, Sun and Moon at the end, where you could go to the battle tree and get the Mega Stones, as well as in ZA, or Legend ZA, where Rayquaza doesn't need a Mega Stone to Mega Evolve. You can just give it whatever item you want, like a Life Orb, a Focus Sash, let's say, I don't know, an Oran Berry, for example, and you could still Mega Evolve Rayquaza, which is really cool and a bit overpowered, because you could just like give Rayquaza any item and just be like, oh, here's an item that can not make you fall over the faint in like a hit or something. So yeah, but overall, I think its design, again, it's a really, really strong design, and it's a whole lot better than regular Rayquaza. So yeah. For number 2 is Mega Metagross. Now, with Metagross as a Pokemon, I do like how it's one of the few Pokemon that it has an interesting sort of Pokédex entry, in that with Beldum, it's basically this small sort of floating steel beam Pokemon with an eye and a claw on its back. But then when it evolves into Metang, it's basically its Pokédex entry says that it's basically 2 Beldums combined together. And then with Metagross, its entry says that it's 2 Metangs fused together to make Metagross. And then with Mega Metagross, I think its entry says that it kind of like takes it a bit further and just has like all the forms just combined together. And it's really cool, and I do like how his arms just make it seem like it's just this giant cannon. And also I think the X on its face, I think it grows larger as well. And yeah, I think with this form, it just makes Metagross look a lot more stronger and a lot more intimidating. And yeah, it's just a really cool looking Mega form, and yeah, it's just a really, really fun looking Pokemon. And I think its design is really strong. I think it really does help make Metagross look really cool. So yeah. And for number 1 is Mega Sceptile. Now, what I like about Mega Sceptile is that it looks a whole lot cooler version than regular Sceptile. And regular Sceptile is a really cool looking design. It's basically look like this sort of like gecko Pokemon with a sort of tree for a tail. But with Mega Sceptile, it basically looks a whole lot cooler, and the tail basically becomes this sort of like red and green tree that you can use. And the tree on Mega Sceptile can be detached when using moves like Leaf Storm, which is really cool because you don't get to see a whole lot of other Pokemon that can Mega Evolve do this sort of thing. I think the one that comes close is probably Ash Greninja that you can get in the Sun and Moon demo, and also the same Pokemon, Greninja, but in Legend CA when he gets his own Mega form with Mega Greninja, and he can use the Shuriken that he's hanging on from to like use it as an attack when using Water Shuriken, which is really cool. And Mega Sceptile does the same thing, but for his tail when you use a move like Leaf Storm. And it's such a really, really cool thing to do, and you don't get to see a whole lot of other Pokemon using a part of their body as an attack. And yeah, Mega Sceptile is such a really cool design. I like the green, I love the red, I love how his like leaf blade things on his arms sort of like split in 2, and how it had this sort of like chunk taken out of it is really cool. And overall, this is probably one of the best Mega Evolved Pokemon in any Pokemon game. So yeah, so that's been my top 5 favourite Mega Evolved Pokemon from Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.